Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 11 of RollPlay for Verona. Hi, hello. I look like I'm staring intently at something in my lap, but I'm not. I'm moving around. Oh, there I go. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Adam.
Hi. Hello. Look, everybody's like in their own place and not in a random miscellaneous European country. We're all back home. It's so exciting. It must mean that summer is almost over. How's it going, everybody? I mean, when is summer? Summer is officially over in September, right?
We're getting there. Yeah. We're getting towards the end of summer.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's so nice. I hate summer so much.
Me too.
I'm so glad
really?
that it's almost over. Yes, I can't
fucking
stand
vampire. Come on, summer's awesome.
Yeah,
I love fall.
It's
I love
hot
fall.
and bright, and I hate it.
I'm a fan of
Fall
seasons.
Fall is
Get out of here,
beautiful.
you- Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, fall is beautiful,
am.
but summer is also nice. Yeah, but fall's
agree.
like romantic, you know? Summer's romantic.
That's not why I like it. I just like that
Summer's
it's
not
finally
romantic. I guess it depends on what your idea of romance is. Never mind. That's fine.
Oh, that's a
We don't
much better
we don't have to
question.
fight.
Let's. Yeah. I mean,
I'm
I would
just
agree
like-
there are things about summer that don't suck, but in general, I'm happy to be free of feeling like hot and like it's just tiring. It's nice. It's been like cold and rainy here, which is why I live here. I want it to be cold and rainy. So
I've had a lot of rain
But-
here. Although I do like summer storms here where I'm at. We do get those Midwestern like nice summer
Ooh.
thunderstorms that roll through. Like last night, it just rained and thundered all night, and it was fucking awesome. So
Yeah.
I like that. I like both. I do think I really like summer, but I get the point. Like you kind of get exhausted of it. I think of any season, same way in winter. It's like, all right, I'm tired of wearing coats, and then at the end of summer, I'm like, yeah, I want to wear my coats. I want to wear my coats a little bit, you know.
I will say this: the worst thing. This might be the worst thing I can think of as far as seasonal stuff goes. Period. Is when it's cold in the winter and you like get all bundled up, and then you have to get on like a bus or go into somewhere that's really hot for some fucked up reason, and it's
Yeah.
just like awful, and you're just like, oh, like dying. Oh my god! You know what? It's the problem is being a corporeal entity, being forced to carry this dead meat around with me all the time. That's what I hate. It's not
Me
the
too,
seasons.
yeah.
I just don't like being alive. So how's everybody else doing? How was Paris?
Oh, that's me. I went to Paris. It was great.
I mean, or generally, anyone could answer, I guess.
Yeah. I had a great time. I went there for the Rainbow Six Majors, which is like their like esports competition. And I stayed for a couple extra days just because that was my first time going to Paris, and I was really excited about it. So, yeah, I did a lot of the touristy stuff, and it was beautiful, and it exceeded my expectations, and I want to go back.
Nice.
Yeah.
A+ review would return.
Yeah,
That's cool.
definitely.
That's why
I was very close to.
I thought you were gonna
It's
fall.
fine. It's
Fine.
just no. It's just an earthquake. We have many of them in California.
360-degree earthquake.
who hasn't accidentally fallen out of their webcam frame once or twice? So I will, in JP's defense, we've had this conversation in Court of Swords. The buttons in the interface that JP is using right now are not labeled very clearly, and what you think does one thing does a different thing. It's okay.
I
JP,
stared at
don't
it
be
for
a
like
pain.
30 seconds and I still got it wrong. It doesn't make any sense.
Yep. It's true. It's fine. It's fine. You did it, buddy. So anyway, Paris. So you went for this thing, but I love being in that situation where you have the opportunity where you're like, I'm going to do this thing, and I'm doing like a work thing, but hey, like I'm gonna tack on some extra time, and then actually get to be there. So that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I realized, I looked back at my schedule and I realized that I hadn't taken a day off in 2 months. And before that, I had only taken like a day or two off in like the past 4 months or something like that. So I was like,
I definitely notice that on your Twitter, you every once in a while see a tweet that's like, "That was a really fun day off stream, everybody." I'm like,
yeah.
and
Yeah. So I've been doing that for like 3 months straight. So I was like, I can take 2 extra days in Paris while I'm there. So yeah,
Mhm.
I had a great time.
That's good. Did
Good job, Paris.
Did you eat baguette and ride a bicycle while wearing a beret and a striped shirt? Did you play an accordion?
No, I did not.
No? No.
But I did go to the Eiffel Tower and pretend to touch the top of it kind of, not really. I failed at that.
Nice.
How many other people were
Classic.
doing that simultaneously?
A lot. Everyone. everyone looks like they're having some kind of problem because they're all just like for like 20 minutes while their friend like tries to figure out how to like do the camera thing.
It's amazing.
Pretty great.
It just makes me think of that picture too, where it's like, can someone Photoshop this so I'm touching the tower, and it's just like their arm going.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a dangerous mix of tourist stuff and not tourist stuff. But yeah, it is always funny out of context. You're like, oh, look at this cute photo. But then I saw a photo essay someone did a while back that was like that, and it was all photos of other people at tourist attractions, and it's just like, yeah, like Max said, just a sea of people all trying to make it look like they're having sex with the Leaning Tower of Pisa or touching the Eiffel Tower. Like, it's just, yep,
Yeah,
it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool. So you're gonna go back? You're going back to Paris?
yes, I hope so. I don't know when, but that's the plan. Because I felt like 2 days was really like I walked about 10 miles a day the 2 days that I was there, which is like 15 kilometers or 16 kilometers, I think. You don't use miles. And
Thank you.
and yeah, it was great. It was just like I loved just having an Uber just drop me off in like a spot and then just being like, I don't know, I'll walk down this street. Like, this street looks cool. I'll walk down this street. And I just like walked all over the place. And it was really, really nice. And I think chat had like made me nervous because they were very like, Paris is dirty, everyone is mean, like this is gonna be bad, blah blah blah. And I was just like, oh god, what if I go there and they hate me? But it was not, I don't know. It definitely, when I say it exceeded my expectations, I had like such a wonderful time that I really want to go back. So I mean, like
That's cool.
Here's the thing is that it's not any more dirty than like a large metropolitan area. So if you've been to like LA, New York, Boston, like those places have dirty places. Like that's just, there's a lot of people living there, you know? So yeah. And also here's my hot tip. Apparently France just has like a month-long holiday in the middle of August, just where they're like, all their stores are closed. They're like, hey, it's July 27th through August like 23rd and we're closed for vacation. And it's like, and everyone just like leaves. It's just like there were so few people, like even all the people who were like local to Paris were saying like, yeah, there's like this holiday and everyone is just like gone and just like goes on vacation. So all like there was like almost no traffic, all the touristy spots, there were like still people there, but it wasn't very bad, I don't think. So I wonder if now my like perspective of it is just skewed because there were so few people that if I were to go back, I would
the
be like,
abandoned version of Paris.
Yeah. So now if I go back, I'm just gonna be like, where are all these people? Why are there so many people here?
Yeah. Oh, so this is where all of Paris was. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Well, either way, it's nice that you had a good time there. That's cool. Welcome back. Welcome back to America. You'll find that people do not speak French quite so much. Now you got to go to Montreal and be like, let's compare and contrast. You could do a video, Paris versus Montreal. I would love to see that.
Montreal, actually.
Yeah,
I went there, but only for a couple days, and it was for it was in the winter. It was like in February or something, and there was like a snow on the ground.
How did you feel about what Voltaire famously called a few acres of snow? Did you enjoy Montreal, or was it like?
I was very over prepared because I knew it was going to be cold, and I am a baby when it comes to cold.
Oh, that's right, you are. I remember that.
Yeah. So I had base layers. I was prepared. So I was very warm.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I was very warm. It was great.
No trip, right?
So
cool. You're a world traveler. Mark, you were also just recently. I was gonna say this is true for you all the time. I was gonna say you were recently in a European country as well.
How bizarre!
How bizarre!
Yeah. I was over in Italy. I went over for a friend's wedding anniversary out in the country, and then me and my partner Nina had 2-3 days in Florence, which was very, very, very nice.
Florence is the fucking nicest place.
It is.
Holy shit.
The shit.
Yeah,
it is really
it's
cool.
So good. I agree. That's cool. I knew you were in Italy, but I didn't know what part.
Yeah, no. So we literally just we were out in the country, and it was only an hour by train to Florence, and we figured we'd just take some extra days, go over there. Neither of us really knew what to expect. Like we made some rough plans, but blown away by how gorgeous the city is. We went and saw a few sites, went and saw a few tourist things, just had amazing food, and our hotel had like a really beautiful rooftop pool, so we could look out on the city, which was amazing. It was just really great. It was a really lovely kind of break away from everything. Like, just kind of deleted Twitter off my phone and just got to relax for a bit, which was quite nice.
That's exciting. Did you get up in that dome? Did you go in the Il Duomo? Did you check that out?
Il Duomo, yeah, we went up in the Duomo. We did Vecchio, the big tower, the fort tower. Went in there, saw a bunch of stuff in there. Went and saw David and his nakedness. And then just mainly was exploring the city itself, like the actual just kind of walking around the streets, because it's all just so still, medieval and historical. It just is gorgeous. It's so amazing.
When I was there, I went with my friend Emily, who's like a huge Assassin's Creed fan, and so when we were walking around, she's like, "That's from a video game. That's from a video game. I recognize that." It was pretty funny.
Yeah, my partner is a massive fan too.
Yeah, I was like, I guess this is a thing that could happen. Like, you could actually learn about like real life places by playing video games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, didn't you guys play Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? Come on.
That game doesn't tell you anything about the place. It just tells you where things
we didn't
are.
have
It totally does. It totally does.
All I remember is just like shitty pun names for bad guys.
Oh. Well,
I don't remember how Where in the World of Carmen. I also remember the TV show with the weird acapella guys. Huh. I hadn't thought about that in a while. Carmen Sandiego. I wonder where she's at these days.
You don't know? That's the point.
That's the whole point of
Nobody
it.
knows. Nobody knows. Yeah.
Yeah. Good to be back. Flew in this morning. Ready for some game.
Cool, man. Welcome back. I'm glad you had a good time in Italy. Max, what exciting European country have you been to recently?
I was in Germany.
Yeah, you were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We all.
Hey, you thought I was
traveled.
joking? No. How was Gamescom? How was Germany?
It was cool. I significantly enjoyed it this time around a little bit more, just because last time I was there, I was kind of shackled to a PUBG event that was going on there. And I didn't realize how shackled I'd be until I was there, and like it was like, nope, all day you are at this booth all day. Okay. Usually there's a little bit more breathing time, within tournaments and things like that, but this one was like, so I didn't get to see any Gamescom or walk around really much at all. And this time saw a little bit more of Gamescom, was able to do stuff with friends, ate a lot of sausage and sauerkraut and sauerbraten and all that stuff. I went to like a 150-year-old brew house that I guess Anthony Bourdain had been at before when he
What's the thing called? The like breaded meat that's like flat.
Oh, with the
schnitzel. Schnitzel.
Oh,
yeah, that shit was good. Oh, I'm gonna go back. Fuck.
That's one of the few things I miss about Gamescom: schnitzel and Kolsch. That's pretty much like the main things I miss.
Yeah, that was a good time. It was fun. Trying to think of highlights of it, but it was all a highlight, Adam. No, I took the train. That was cool.
Sometimes those kinds of trips, and we were talking about this a little bit before, the idea of like having been to an airport but not a real place. Sometimes cons can feel like that, where someone will be like, "Oh, what do you think of Philadelphia?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking know. I was in the convention center the whole time. Like, I hear it's nice.
Yeah.
The span between my hotel and that place is great, but
depending on how busy you are, like with your schedule, it dictates whether or not you actually saw any of the place that you're at. And most of the time it's pretty full. And if there is a little bit of free time, it's not enough to like be like, yeah, I love that city, So, but yeah, I had a really good time. I did enjoy. I was pissed about having to take, because we flew into Frankfurt, and then had to take 2 trains to Cologne, which was really annoying on the way there. The second train was like the longer one, so we just like parked it after being stressed as fuck all day because it's just bullshit that was happening. Like we had a really bad day in terms of like RNG, if you want to call it that, of just like people. It was just
so outside of video games, Max. The word for that is luck. Luck is the word that normal
RNG,
humans use.
Always forever. It's a simulation, Adam. It's a simulation, Adam. Let's not talk about this on here. But yeah, it was just like a weird day where it felt like we were in a sitcom or a movie, where you just encounter people like, holy shit, why are you like this to me? Like, I haven't done anything to you. But then we got on the train and I was able to see like kind of the countryside, the rural area of like Germany and stuff. And that was really, really cool. Had some, God, their restaurant carts are so nice. They're not even carts. It's like a little restaurant. Might as well have been. Like fuck you, Europe. Why do you have to have nice trains?
Once again, statement: England does not have nice trains. Just as a blanket statement.
All of Europe,
That's
including
why
England.
I don't think. I mean, not for long. Not anymore. I'm not caught up on that. Has that particular apocalypse occurred yet, or we're still waiting for that one?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that one. Who knows? Soon.
I wish we had their trains. I will say with their system, the DB, the D-Bahn or whatever, D-Bahn, I don't know how to say it. Just DB, whatever. Their brand of train there. And I tried, there was a reservation that was booked for us and it was like, yeah, just go to the thing, press English and, go to all offers or whatever. And you can see print out reservation tickets or whatever. That took forever to figure out because the interface was not how it was supposed to be. And then when I finally printed it out, I'm like, all right, great. We got it. Here's our reservation. Here's our tickets. We got on the train, our first train. And the conductor comes by. Like, here you go. And they're like, this is a reservation. These are not tickets. This is a reservation. I'm like, well, what the fuck is the point of me going to I don't understand.
Yeah.
It was so annoying. But
we don't have a lot of exposure to that sort of thing in North America. So
he's a nice guy. He was like, you know what? Just go to the next one. You'll talk to the guy there. It'll be fine. You're not my problem. I'm going to go on my merry way and eat sausage in the cabin up ahead.
Yeah, at least you didn't accidentally end up in like Luxembourg or something. So
yeah, that would have been bad.
It was a little stressful. Took you a little while, but you got there. So
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, I think you can definitely judge a country by its infrastructure. Like a country with a good transit system. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Bronze, you been anywhere interesting? I know I haven't. How about you? We just hanging out.
Nope.
Pacific Northwest.
Nope.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. I stayed at home and went to Ren Fair like a good little nerd. So
nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was great.
You traveled back in time.
Yes, there was much dilly-dillying and huzzah to be had. It was a great Ren Fair.
Hey, nani here or there. Yep.
Yeah. Lots of huzzah. That was like the most popular one. Good amount of dilly-dillying.
You went to a Ren Fair?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
I made a costume. I made it out of real silk. It was yellow. It was like my take on how like a I don't know, like somebody from my part of the world maybe would have looked like a noble in that setting. I had like a whole headcanon for like who my character would have been. But apparently this Ren Fair has like a recurring like story that they build on every year. So like everybody there is like super into the role play. And this year, part of the story was that like the King of Spain had infiltrated like England and no one was really sure what he was doing at the tourney.
What, like personally? Like the King of Spain just showed up in secret?
Yeah. And I saw him. He was walking around and like he was giving shit to all the English people. And he made eye contact with me and realized I wasn't English. And he just like kind of winked at me. But he was going around and being like, yes, you can thank Spain for this and that. And like making like he was just shit talking the entire time. And the Queen of Sweden was there as well. I don't know, and she was like presiding over the tourney. But yeah, Spain like illegally entered the tourney. And then I watched the jousts and all that. And it was pretty great. So yeah.
It's a big deal, Ren Fair. You have random royalty coming from all around.
Yeah.
To the Kingdom of Seattle.
A fake King of Spain. I was just like, I was pretty excited. There was no hurdy-gurdies though, even though it was pirate weekend. So I was pretty disappointed. Max, you got to come out here and show them what's up. There's some great pirate cosplay, but there was no hurdy-gurdying. And so I was very disappointed.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to send them an angry letter. Not enough hurdies or gurdies. Next time, there better be an increase in hurdy or gurdy or both, or I'm going to be pissed.
Yep. Want my money back.
I feel like having a Ren Fair where people are like I'm the king of Spain at the Renaissance Fair. It's like it's a first grade like Dungeons and Dragons faux pas where you're like, all right, everybody, we're making characters. And one guy's like, I'm a fighter, I'm a wizard. Another one's like, I'm the king of the whole kingdom. Fuck you. It's like you can't do that, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, well, I am. It's a role playing game. I'm the king.
Deal
You
with
have
it.
to
And
do
they
what I
had,
say.
They had like a whole tent that was devoted to like all the royalty. Like I don't know if they were employed by the Ren Fair, and it's like where they would feast, but then the rest of the time they were like wandering around. And then like the English delegation or whatever you want to call them were like, but they're not supposed to be in the tourney. So it was just like I don't know if it was like part of like the overall story. But I was like, man, how do I become like the queen of Morocco and enter or something? Like now I'm like legitimately like, how does one get paid to become a royalty at a Ren Fair?
I think you just declare it. You just go around telling everybody like, yeah,
Just
what's
call
up?
it.
My name is John. I'm the king of I don't know, let's say Prussia. So go and fetch me a beer because I'm the king. Check it out. Like, what they don't have like a dungeon master to be like, okay, like organizing things. I don't know. Is that how it is for the Ren fairs you go to, Max? Because Max, your Ren fairs seem to be eat turkey legs, get wasted, play the hurdy-gurdy. None of this like I'm the king of Spain shit. So
Sounds like Max is doing it right.
We don't have a king of Spain here. I literally walked around with my my buddy Penta because he was dressed up as a pirate too. We were pretty drunk, but we were like walking around like the king's court and all that stuff, just kind of skulking around. And the entire like royal troop they had there were like just eyeing us down, like talking shit. And then we just started laughing and pointing at them and like being lewd and shit. So that was our kind of Ren Fair. There was no king of Spain.
There is a degree, and it's like casual RP that happens. You see this at cons sometimes, especially cons that have a lot of cosplay, where people will like act out cosplay RP stuff when they see other people dressed as characters from the same universe as them. So like if somebody's walking around dressed as like a good guy and they see a bad guy from the same show, they'll be like, oh shit, there's a stare down, they're gonna fight. Or like they see people dressed like their friends and they'll like get into character for just long enough to like pass by them. I love that stuff. I think that level of kind of weird, like I'm wearing a costume and it's changing just like a little bit how I act while I'm here. I think that stuff's so cool.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a Ren Fair that has its own internal canon and ongoing storyline. That sounds awesome. But
it was amazing because then like apparently like the Spanish delegation claimed to have like a countess, I think a French countess, and then sure enough, France won the tourney. I feel like it was scripted. And France was like, well, as our reward, we want this countess. But there wasn't a countess. It was just Diego with a fan in front of his face wearing a cloak. So then he's like, oh, you're safe now. Put away this fan. And like he puts away the fan and he kisses him. And then he whipped out a sword and they had to break it up. It's the most dramatic tourney I've ever been to. So
sounds hot.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think you might. Yeah, I think this isn't so much a Ren Fair as it is like a weird soap opera. But congratulations
I'm here
on
for
being
it. I love
part
it.
of that. Anyway. and then Diego, he whipped out his sword and then they fought.
Yeah, I was like, oh
that's good.
shit, is Diego gonna die? Are we gonna see blood water the battlefield today? I was like, huzzah! Dilly dilly with my flagon of mead buzzing hard because it was hot. So I was like, you know where the alcohol really starts to hit you because it's so hot, and you're just like, oh yeah, kill him, rip off his head, dilly dilly. It's great.
Yeah, that's usually what I get like when it's hot and I've had a couple of beers, just screaming for blood.
Did they ever actually say dilly dilly back then? Forgive my ignorance here, or was that just a Bud Light thing?
I feel like there's a lexicon, there's a Ren Fair lexicon that there is definitely some overlap with the like beginner D&D lexicon of like medieval sounding shit that they heard someone say in Baldur's Gate once, and so it just becomes the thing that they say. Like people who say well met to each other. Like, it's well like, no, don't, it's not no well met. Don't well met me.
Wait for like the Hearthstone, like Bud Light crossover promo where it's like a new beer they're announcing. It's like epic.
Yeah, right. People who just do that. It's fine.
You know
what? I'm not judging.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Mel, well met, chat. All right, let's fucking play a role playing game.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna save goals until after we do the opening scene, and then I gotta sit down with Nomi for a hot minute and figure out what she has been up to. So I suppose we come back in on the same shot we left the last episode on. So we fade in on you know what? Hold on. Before I get all cinematic, I owe you experience points. I see you, Mark.
I didn't want to interrupt it.
Mark is whining in chat about how I owe him XP, so I'm gonna just yank on the brake real hard here, and we'll hand out some experience points. I owe you, buddy. All right. So last session, this is like the 4th time Mark has asked me about this, so I'm glad to put this to bed. I got a text message immediately after the last one that was like, Adam, experience points, Adam. That's fair. That's fine.
I'm number 1 again, Adam. I need them. I
know. I'm only giving you shit because that's exactly what I do in games. I'm like, yeah, I didn't kill those guys for no reason. Give me that XP. All right. So Booker, your goal from last time was find out why I was grounded. Which I think you're still working on that. I don't think you have. Yeah, I don't think you have that.
Yeah.
And Chaplain Valencio, yours was get to know your team, which you made an effort to do, and I think you resolved that. You have a good understanding of what their deal is.
Yay.
And Kiran, I don't think you have something to do on the ship yet. You could continue searching for that, or you could write a new goal this time, but we'll do that kind of after the intro bit. So there you go, everybody. Mark got his experience point.
Yay.
I feel bad. You made me sound like a douche.
Listen,
there you go.
I am not capable of making you sound like a douche. It's only your own actions that reflect on what people think of you. Don't try to pin this on me, buddy. So anyway, Mark, if you'll allow me, I would like to begin the episode. Sorry. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yep. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So we fade in on the back of a door. And this is in the chapel, I think. And it's just like a closed door, but on it, scratched deep into the metal surface of the door, roughly, this isn't like laser etched. This is like as if someone carved it with a knife in the wall of a prison cell. It says, "Where is Verona?" Just in big, bold cap locks letters. And we see this. And the camera pulls back out to show the rest of the room, and we see a young noble woman, eyes wide, staring at this scratched image on the wall. And for a moment, there is stillness. There's silence, and then she coughs once, hard, into her hand, and her hand comes away spattered with blood. And she turns to look around the room, like as if for help, and blood is like dripping from her nose. And before she has a chance, she starts to say something. She opens her mouth to say something, and her eyes roll back in her head, and she seizes up and falls to the floor. So I think who else was present for this? Chaplain, you were there, I think, to see.
It was me and Greaves, I think. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and so she just and falls over backwards and starts having a seizure. Her boots scraping on the floor. She's gasping for breath. Blood coming out of her nose. What do you do?
I think Booker tries to depending how close he is, he catches her. This is just a random noble person.
It's Lilith.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Booker grabs her immediately. What the hell's going on? Chaplain, call for someone.
I'm already using my pad to call up medical and just being
Booker's
Chaplain Valencio. We need medical immediately.
Yeah. So there's the two of you kind of all right.
Would I know that this could potentially be a psychic thing as well? Because obviously we knew that she was psychically trained. I guess I'd be telling the medical team potential MES something has happened with the member of Lyra.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could guess that might be the problem. That would be something.
Yeah,
that's
I think
going
that
on.
that'd be my assumption. So I would tell them that and be calling for medical to come as quickly as possible.
Okay. All right.
Booker's just like examining her from rudimentary, like from basic training.
I mean,
he knows.
Right. Yeah. Right now, you can't really examine her because she's like seizing up.
Yeah,
like
she's like freaking out.
Spine. Her spine is bent. Her muscles are tight. And her eyes are rolled back in her head. And she's clearly not conscious.
I guess he'd be cradling like her head so as to not prevent further injury to the head.
Okay.
Like if she's like violently, lurching about.
She sure is. Booker, can you make a mental effect save, please?
Oh, motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
Never mind, Adam. She dies. I don't touch her. She.
You're like, wait a second. I have to make a saving throw. I just lay her on the floor and cover her with a blanket and just walk away. She was like this when I got here. I don't know.
Mental saving throw, you said?
Yeah, mental effect save.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
All right.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, you feel like it's like a high pitched. You feel the whine. You don't hear it, but it's like the feeling of a sound in the back of your head for just a second, and then it passes.
Gotcha.
Is she still convulsing and stuff, Adam? Like, is there anything I could do to like try and like secure a like recovery position or like make sure she doesn't bite down on her tongue and stuff like that? Or I don't know, like basically apply rudimentary.
Yeah. You could try. Do you have whatever healing medicine?
I don't have any training in it. I don't have any training. It's
you can still try.
I've got a +1 intelligence, so.
In this case, it's not intelligence because you have to physically like hold her down.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Graves, Booker, if you want to help, you can. Okay, so Booker, roll strength, medicine with strength.
Okay.
What's the name of the skill?
Heal with strength.
Heal with strength. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Heal. Yeah.
Dope. And... Hey.
Okay, so Booker, I think she flails and like you take like an elbow to the sternum and she kind of like knocks the wind out of you. But you're helping, but you're not helping as much as you would like.
Yeah.
I'm helping.
So
I'm helping.
Valencio, Valencio, you want to try to help out?
Heal with strength.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna. Oh, okay.
The strength of God.
Okay.
Strength of God.
I mean, you could try to use the power of Christ to compel her to stop.
Yeah, can I try?
I think that so 7. You got a 9, which is a success. But I think you exposed yourself to the same thing that Booker was by being close to her. So I need you to make a mental effect save.
I managed to like stop her from injuring herself and doing more harm, right? Yeah, fair.
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna.
Nice.
Nothing happens.
Yet.
So let me make a quick note.
I don't know why I'm so excited to get you fucked up, Mark. Yet, motherfucker.
Just gonna make a little. Nobody wants to hear the DM say. Just gonna make a little note here.
What's that noise you heard?
Cool.
Probably nothing.
You're fine and everything's fine. So I think you managed to get it so she doesn't like this. The seizures aren't gonna like break anything. She's not gonna hurt herself from seizing, but it doesn't like stop. And when the medical team comes in, you get like ushered away. They kind of take over, and you can't really see what's going on, but there's some general medical shouting. There's they bring in a kit and like try to sedate her. And I think that at some point one of the like ship's medical techs like asks the two of you to leave. They're like, we need space, like please, and like try to push you out into the hallway.
Sure thing.
Yeah, head out. Follow Agent Greaves.
Okay. Yeah. So they're like, we need space to work on our please, and they kind of push you out of the room.
Of course.
And the door slides shut, and now all of a sudden you're outside the room, and all the chaos and stuff is just gone. Like it's just quiet. You're just in a quiet hallway. What do you do? The two of you are just like, and like Booker, you've got like blood all over you, like on your hands, and like there's like a smeared like handprint on your face.
Booker's realizing that now, like, because just in the moment he's trained to like blood, whatever, and he's just now like, Jesus Christ, Chaplin, what the fuck was that?
I have no idea, Agent Graves. I've never seen anything like it. The girl seemed completely fine. 1 second, and we go to leave. I've never seen anything like that come on so suddenly. Utterly bizarre. You don't think that it is... perhaps she was just unstable.
Well, I know
not
she was
connected.
taking medication for her abilities and whatnot, but maybe a side effect. I just don't know enough about that. When
It's possible, yes.
when I grabbed her head to try to stop her from, lurching about and hurting herself even more, it was a moment I heard like a loud ringing for a moment, and then it went back to a dullness and went away.
You are not, I'm assuming that you have never obviously been, there's no psychic training in your career, Agent Graves. Perhaps some
I've
sort
worked
of
with
feedback?
Worked with psychics, but no, I personally don't have any of those sort of that ability.
Perhaps it is something that whatever attack she was suffering, her abilities were triggering without her will, without her intent. Perhaps she was keeping you into something. Very strange.
You mean like some sort of psychic feedback kind of thing.
Yes.
For lack of a better term,
It is concerning. It is concerning that the very person that we had brought on to help us with our investigation, perhaps it is just a suspicious old mind, considering that perhaps there may be something more at work here. But I hope that the poor girl will pull through. She seemed to be quite an odd sort. Strange. I've not encountered many nobility like her before.
Yeah. Hate to see her go down that way. Hate to see anyone go down that way. Well, anyone decent.
I think I managed to stop her from injuring herself or doing any more damage. We can only hope that the medical team can prevent her from having anything more severe. You did... I'm sure that we've done all that we can, Agent Graves. Perhaps we should... you should get some rest. This is quite an ordeal. I'm going to... yes. Just going to go quiet and think for a second.
Yes. Perhaps you're right. Booker check the time. You're going to tell me it's in the middle of the day.
I mean, it can kind of be whenever.
Booker,
you're going to want to, before you do anything else, you're going to want to go take a shower.
Yeah. Booker looks at himself and kind of just examines. Perhaps you're right.
Yes.
Off me.
Well, I would like to go and offer a prayer for the young girl's safety, of course, as well. We do obviously still have an investigation as well that if you would like my assistance, I am still willing to assist you with. But
of course.
Like a few moments to go and say a few words.
Unless the upper brass tell me that we're done, we still got our job to do.
Very
I'll
good.
link up with you later.
Yes, please call me anytime, and then I'll make my way.
Yeah, Booker heads towards his
downtown, walking fast.
Yeah. Swinging around on light poles with his blood. Oh God, the psychic power, it's affected Adam. We can't hear him anymore.
Can you what's happening?
There we go. There we go.
Oh my God. Hello? Hi, everybody. Okay. So, so you're just going to go and you're going to get cleaned up, Booker, and Chaplain, Valencio, do you have somewhere specific you're going or something you're doing?
I'm going to go to my apartment. Because I imagine probably if I was helping Sakura, maybe I got some of the blood on me as well. I'd want to change a little bit, fresh shirt or something like that. And then, just go to my small little shrine to go to the high church and just make a few prayers for this young noble to make sure that she pulls through, that she has the strength of a great emperor to survive. Not quite sure what to do. A little bit of a
I mean, you're doing the right thing when you don't know what to do. You're praying. Yeah. So you go to pray that God have mercy on this poor soul.
Absolutely.
So the next scene, when we fade out, the next scene is Lyra Lilith's funeral. So
shit.
So we're in a room. there are a bunch of people here. There is a like a coffin, essentially, like a canister that her body is in, for its return to their homeworld. There's a big purple like drape over it with the House Lyra sigil on it, and everyone here seems, aside from her cousin Nicola, who is like sobbing into her hands. Everybody else is kind of awkwardly like standing around, like,
Yeah.
we didn't really know this person. She just kind of appeared, and then something bad happened, and they're in little like awkward clusters, like talking to each other, like, who's this person again? Why are we doing here? And yeah, and so you're all like kind of at this thing. It's been called. This is probably like a couple of days later. And yeah, you've all been sort of called here to for the last rites of this person, this noble. So where is everybody? Like, what are you doing? Because the three of you are already there.
Is the funeral still happening, or is it just kind of now
I mean,
afterwards?
yeah, it's like the part before. I think probably, unless somebody has something specific that they want to say, you either have to like, you can say it and we can make room for that, or it's after all of that, and this is just like the last bit where you're all standing around waiting to be told that it's over.
I don't think I'd say anything. I think I'd just be assisting the senior chaplain, like performing, like assisting him in whatever he needs to do if he's saying any rites and doing any of that stuff.
So
Otherwise,
he had already done the kind of like generic, like the kind of thing that you say for somebody that nobody knew. Nicola tried to say something but couldn't get through it and just burst into tears and had to run off. So yeah, there is a kind of like sort of like quiet, and everybody's just sort of like, can we go? Or like, is it rude to leave? How do we know when this is over?
Nicola's already left though, right?
I think she's back, but she's like sitting like at a table by herself in the corner, still crying. She just managed to come back into the room.
Okay.
So Kiran, what are you doing? You and your aunt were invited to this, so.
Whoops, I was muted. So no one is saying anything?
I mean, there's already been the generic sort of church, like, this person was a daughter of God and served him as all nobles do. Like, really generic, like, what a person. This was a person. They were alive and now they're not. And some people are sad about that.
Yeah.
And I just saw Nicola run off crying, right?
She ran off like 20 minutes ago when she tried to say something, but she couldn't do it, and she ran off, and she came back, but now she's just like sitting at a table like crying.
I feel bad. I feel like someone should say something nice.
And not like loud, messy crying, but that kind of like she's trying to hide that she's crying.
Yeah.
But it's really obvious.
But it's all over, so it would be too late for me to say some words, I'm assuming.
I mean, it's your right to just be like, hey, I have something to say, but you could also just be like, cool, all that part's over and we're done.
I'm going to say something.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. There's like a little,
I would feel
like,
bad if I didn't say something.
Place. Okay. So yeah, there's a little place you could stand and people will notice that you're walking towards it. So.
Oh God. Oh, I'm not good with public speaking.
Yeah, so everybody starts kind of like, they turn to look, like, oh, there's more. Maybe this is the last thing.
Yeah. Trying to remember Kieran's voice.
Right? Yeah, it's okay. It's only the second time.
It was Lulu from Final Fantasy X. What does Lulu sound like? Okay, got it. What a tragedy. A life so young and so very full of potential taken from us in its prime. It's hard to find words to say in a time like this, but I think it's important for us to remember her as she lived, which was I didn't know her very well, but she seemed like a nice girl trying to make her way through life. And hopefully this is a reminder to all of us that life is short and fleeting, and it's important that we live in the now and remember to treat each other with a modicum of kindness and warmth, given how short life can be and given how cruel it can be, regardless of our backgrounds and where we come from.
Okay. So let's see. What do you want people to think? Because this isn't about whether it's on purpose or not. This is about you. Like no one, what you say will not change what people think about her because they're like, some stranger died. I don't know. I heard that she didn't take her medicine and she died. Too bad. But they might remember the things that you said. So what do you want them to think of you after this? Because now everyone in the room is looking at you and they listened. And...
Right. My hope is that their takeaway will be to be kinder in the future, because Kieran's only experience with this girl was watching her kind of be mercilessly bullied by other people, and she kind of feels upset and sick to her stomach now. So I think her takeaway would probably be, or what she would want other people to view her, I guess, after listening to this, would probably be that like I don't know, an aura of like kindness almost,
yeah,
or
like you're a nice person.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Let's see if that works. Let's have you make a roll. So it's charisma. The skill is talk or lead, whichever you prefer. This is kind of like oratory type stuff.
Yeah, let's see. Oh gosh. I'm gonna go with the lead because my lead skill is higher.
Slightly higher, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. So there's a lot of like nodding. There's a lot of nodding and like, oh, okay, like, yeah, sure. Like that seems like a nice thing to say, and that's like thoughtful, and like, yeah, you get a few like eye contact and like, oh, that was sweet. Like even though nobody knew who this weirdo was, like you said a nice thing, and that reflects nicely on you. Okay. So so just as you finish, the door to the room where this funeral is being held, it's probably in, I think, some kind of common area. The door opens and you see enter Nomi Ka. So Nomi, since the last time we saw you, we see Nomi step into the room, and maybe you're dressed differently, maybe not. Let's talk about where you've been. So you and Yancy came back from your last mission. You came back from that mission on Honglu, and what did you tell? Like, did you and Yancy like make up a new story? Did you tell them everything? How was your debriefing?
So I would have had to tell, what's his name? The Victor, right? That's
because
right.
You and Yancy had like a full. You had a full Richter. You had a full day. You had a full day in the shuttle. You and Nancy be like, all right, listen, we got to get our story straight. What are we going to tell them? What are we not telling them?
Yeah. I think that Nomi would generally be honest about the situation, in that she feels that the mission, like she would be honest about like the failures that occurred, but she would also be honest about the fact that she felt like it was a leadership issue. And probably not necessarily like throwing Booker under the bus, but being like, this didn't go well, and I feel like this is maybe because of people not doing things by the book or being kind of reckless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Yancy backs you up on that one. Yancey backs you up on that one for sure. Where he's like, yes, this is a
Yeah.
failure of leadership. We did the best we could with what we had left over after Booker basically ruined the mission. And so Crux High Command, they receive your report, and then I think that you're called back to Heroa. House Serpens wants to have a word or two with you. And so you're called back and basically given like accolades. Like they're like, yeah, you did a great job. Thank you for getting rid of that noble we had on Honglu. He knew things and now he's dead and we don't have to worry about him. Like, good job. Because we were gonna have to send like people to go clean up, and you served your house well while doing other things. So yeah, you absolutely get your rep with House Serpents goes up. And yeah, you get to spend some time on Heroa. Do you spend it mostly like doing work stuff? Like, are you in and amongst the sort of like the other? Are you with other seers? Are you like focused on that? Do you go to the academy, or is this like, I'm gonna take this time to like visit my family?
Yeah, I think I would like do all the necessary like pomp and circumstance, and then would definitely, I would visit my family and do some like of my own kind of personal just stuff, you know.
Yeah, totally. So you're given a leave of absence to recover from the mission, and you spend it on Heroa, kind of getting your stuff back together. And when your time is up, House Serpents basically says like, keep up the good work. It's useful for us to have someone who knows her loyalties out there in the larger world. And so with their blessing, you return to the ship, and on your way back from Heroa, the ship's in orbit around Hyra right now, the Crux homeworld. On your way back, you get all of your new briefing information from the Richter. Both you and Yancey have been given a promotion.
Nice.
Yancey is he's a lieutenant now, basically.
Awesome.
And and so I think the way it's going to shake out now is that Yancey has been moved out of day-to-day ops, right? He's been moved out of like, he's not going to go on missions anymore. He gets to help orchestrate the missions. And now you're in charge of the unit, and Booker has to report to you. And they're basically like, you need to keep an eye on Booker. We're concerned that he's been compromised by his time amongst these insurgents. And and now you need to like look out for undesirable behavior. He could still be an asset that we could use, but we don't necessarily trust him yet. He's back at work, but and to that end, they've assigned a chaplain to the unit. So they want you to spy on Booker, make sure he's fit for duty. But then they have this chaplain, and you've gotten a dossier on him. That is. I don't know, how detailed would it be? Like, Valencia, what information does Anne's character, what does Nomi know about you from your like official kind of like Crux operating?
The Crux
dossier.
Operating one, I think that it would certainly detail that. So it would probably detail my previous house, and that I was being trained for combat experience. It would have to detail my abilities, my MES abilities, but that I had really just been formally trained to keep them under control. Like they are, it's probably not. They're not detailed as a very strong asset. They are just kind of being kept under control. Probably would detail that I was combat trained, but I've been serving the church faithfully for years as a spiritualist and providing support to the nobility.
Yeah. So the official reason that this person is being put into your operation is because he's a trained like combat operative. He's going to be capable of handling himself in a fight. But the side thing is he's here to like look after the spiritual side of what might be a trying time. there's an operation forthcoming. There's details that are going to be given to you, but right now that's still being planned. And for that mission in particular, you're going to be assigned a diplomat. So Bronze, do you want to tell Nomi what your file would look like?
Sure.
Yeah.
Basically what you just said. House Vela, Amira. I'm a diplomat. If it would probably read a lot like a resume. So you'd probably notice that I hop jobs a lot around in there, or I've bounced around a little bit. And I've only been serving as an Amira for probably I think I had written down 3 years. And now I've kind of started studying navigation under my aunt. And but that's not what brought me here. You'd also probably read that most recently I was serving on the Sad Song. Was that the name of the ship? Yeah, I was on the Sad Song as their navigator.
The full title of the ship that the Amira served as navigator on was the Sad Song Say So Much, and it recently was sabotaged, and they're in the midst of working that out. You'll get a briefing
how it was sabotaged.
Yeah, you'll get a briefing about that soon, but you don't get that on your way over because this obviously, all this data is sent to you en route from Hroa, so you end up with it and it's out of date by the time you get here. But yeah, so this diplomat, it's basically Crux, the Richter has said, get to know these people, keep an eye on Booker, maybe check in with him, but be aware that we're concerned he may have been co-opted. So keep a close eye on his behavior. And get to know the Amira and the chaplain, and we leave, and they give you a date sometime in the near future for saying and then when we jump, we'll give you the full dossier for your next mission. But for now, you've only been on the ship a little while. I think that you arrived at the ship probably only a few hours ago, and the thing that is happening is this funeral for a Lyran, who you know not to have been on the original crew roster. Maybe she came from the Sad Songs, maybe not. And she died. And the unusual thing is that on her, because you have access to these records, on her death certificate, it's we're still trying to figure out what killed her. It's uncertain, right? TBD on that one. And so she's being prepared for transport to Orpheus. But this is where everybody is. They're all on this deck. There's a gathering of people for this woman's funeral, and this is where you are. So we see the door open, and we see Nomi, and coming home from Hroa, not like a street operative. The last time we saw you, you were dressed up like a tech ninja mercenary. What does Nomi look like? What do we get the pan back as the door opens, and we see you. You've just come from home. Make your entrance.
Yeah. Probably, I guess, back in what would be normal clothing for Nomi, which is dark colors, and most of her skin is covered with long sleeves and long I guess long pants, but then also a jacket that's kind of floor length in the back. She looks very kind of like she glides in the room rather than walking in. And yeah, she's very rested and recovered from going back to Hroa and seeing her family, and she doesn't look emotionally phased by this because she didn't know who this person was, so she doesn't really care that it's a funeral. Yeah.
Okay. So do you, when the door opens, a couple of people look up, and I think everybody, because they're all looking for something to pay attention to that isn't this dead, sad stranger. And so you get a lot of attention when the door opens and people look at you, and then immediately they recognize you because you've been on the crew for a while, and they there's some whispering and nodding, oh, Nomi's back. I didn't know she was coming back. Where's she been? The rumor mill kind of churns a little bit when the door opens and when you step in. Yeah, and you see Booker, you see the Amira, you see the chaplain, you see You see the other Lyran on the ship, Lynn Nicola, sobbing into her hands. She's dressed really fancy, and she has like a mask, but she's not wearing it because she was crying into it and it was getting all like damp inside. And she's just sitting in a chair by herself, and no one is like talking to her. She's just like trying not to seem like she's crying. What do you do when you come in?
I would know who. Sorry, is it Kieran or how are you saying it? Kieran?
Yeah, Kieran.
Kieran.
I-
Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay, cool. Kieran and then the chaplain. I would know what they look like because of their files, right? I assume.
Yes, yeah, you've seen their files.
Cool. And Booker's here too.
Yep.
Oh, you better believe Booker's here.
Yep.
Then I think I would walk up to the chaplain first. I guess whoever's closest to me. I'll just say the chaplain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
And so I walk forward and I say, Chaplain Valencio, it is very good to meet you. My name is Cirrus Nomi Ka.
I will bow very deeply, very respectfully to such a member of the nobility. Black suit with the kind of Christian style collar, little gold high church pin, played by Keanu Reeves, and just kind of bow very deeply. Oh, Cirrus Ka, there is no need to introduce yourself. I am very much aware of who you are. It is a pleasure to meet you. I very much welcome you back aboard the Prudence. I assume that your trip has been restful after your mission?
Yes, it is always good to return to my home world.
Well, I am very pleased to hear that. As I've mentioned to many of the crew, please see me as someone that if you wish to come and speak with anyone, if you have questions about your spirituality, about anything that is troubling you, please see me as a trusted confidant. I'm here to help you. I believe that I'm going to try and usher some of these people away. I believe some of them are lingering to leave, but there will still be a number around if you wish to speak with any of them. And it is a pleasure to see you, Cirrus Ka. I've heard much about you from the Richter. I look forward to working with you.
Excellent. I look forward to working with you as well. And I'm going to take my leave.
10 blessings.
And then I'll make for Kieran next. Introduce myself.
Okay. Sure.
Do I know that
Uh,
she's
yeah.
coming? Would I have gotten word of that? Of the fact that I'm going to be working with her?
No, I think it is a surprise to you.
Oh,
I don't think that's something you know yet.
okay. That's good to know. I'll play it that
Mhm.
way then.
Yeah. I think that's more likely and also more interesting.
God damn it. Just like that. Just like you making me look like a liar last episode. You always do this to me.
Listen, I don't do these things. You do them to yourself.
So I'll walk up to Kieran and say kind of the same thing, like, greetings, Amira, Kieran, Car? How do you say that? Your last name? Core. Okay. Cool. Amira, Kieran, Core. My name is Cirrus Nomi Ka. I believe we'll be working together.
Oh, it's wonderful to meet you, Nomi, Cirrus. I wasn't aware that we would be working together. It's actually nice to meet you, though. May I ask in what capacity?
I believe that I will be leading our new squad that is being formed for to replace the old squad that I was a part of. I believe you already know the chaplain, and I like kind of motion to him. And
Yeah, and so when we look over, Mark, are you Valencia? Are you like tending to the flock? You're like talking to a bunch of people when we see you.
I think what I would probably do is kind of give anybody who's looking to leave like the kind of permission. Like I'd probably kind of announce like, ladies and gentlemen, you're free to leave if you wish.
You're like,
But then
thank you for coming. Like
exactly,
you
that
can
kind of
leave
stuff.
now. Okay.
Yeah, but then I'd probably head over to Nicola because I think that obviously she's upset and it's my job to be there for the noble. So I'd probably want to head over to her and offer some comfort and condolences.
Okay, so we'll catch up with that in a second.
Mhm.
So Nomi, yeah, you gesturing like the chaplain. Back to you.
I'll give him a little nod because I remember. Yes, I actually did have the privilege of having tea with him. It was quite pleasant. It's wonderful to meet you, Cirrus, and I look forward to hearing about what capacity our squad what they will be working in.
Yeah,
Pleased
so-
to be
so
your
when-
navigator.
So when Nomi says like you're gonna be in our squad, you know
Yeah.
that the last mission that these chuckleheads were on, one of them got kidnapped, like three of them died, four of them died, three and then like half a person, and it went, but then the people that survived got promotions, so that also happened.
Silver lining.
Yeah,
Not all of them.
Yeah.
Duh.
not
I
all of
mean-
them.
The good ones.
You shall see, series.
yeah. So
Awkward.
Booker, I think you see Nomi come in, go to talk to the priest, go and talk to this Valen diplomat that you have on board. What are you doing while you're watching Nomi slither around the room?
Booker's watching. He takes a drink, and then he leaves.
Yeah, you're just gonna walk out. Okay, all right.
Good, because I did not want to be there for
Cool.
that.
Yeah, I mean, Nomi, if you want to try to intercept, you're welcome to. Like, if you've been keeping an eye on Booker, you're welcome to, or you can just notice that he's leaving.
It depends on where I am. If it is, if he's like, if I'm in a position to get between him and the door in a dignified manner, I'm not gonna chase after him. You know.
You're just gonna.
But if I
run
could just like
after him.
step in front of him, then like that would be fine.
Let's have an opposed roll to see if you can like
Okay.
subtly and like etiquette wise, like if Booker can vanish from the party before Nomi can interrupt the vanishing. Let's see what's a good roll for this. I think it's gonna be stat wise. It's probably gonna be for Nomi charisma, and we'll make it stealth. Yeah, charisma and stealth for maybe for both of you. Just an opposed charisma stealth roll. Yeah, let's do that.
So how do I do this? Do I just roll a?
Yeah. So on your
Just roll it?
on your sheet, yeah. If you want, you can click on the little drop down next to the stat under
Roll
near
and
sneak.
Okay.
Yeah. So where it says
Oh,
like for
charisma.
you, it says dex. You can click that and change it to shot, and then hit it.
Okay, cool. I was looking for stealth.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, it's called sneak now.
It's not a very good roll. Homie.
Okay. Booker's got 7.
There it is.
Okay, all right. So Booker, you almost make it. You almost get away, and then there she is. Just, like slides in there.
Oh my god! Like the fucking Grim Reaper. Just walk right in front of you.
As Booker
Mhm.
notices that you walk in front, then he's like, "Sir, can I do something for you?"
Booker, it's good to see you again. I trust that your break has been restful.
So let's just take a second. So I hope your break has been restful. I hope those several months that you were tortured by insurgents went great for you.
You're He's good now. It's fine.
Booker
I'm
gives
just-
you
it's-
just a brief nod.
So when he doesn't respond, I kind of give a slight smile and I take like a half step closer and I say, I understand that things did not quite go according to plan, and I am regretful of the way that things happened. But we need to work together, and I think that it is in our best interests to put the past behind us and only look forward. We must have the sight to see the future for what it can be and stop focusing on the past. You just not
Booker's
respond?
just staring at you right now, just
Okay.
letting that be a little nice awkward pause, and you can tell
Yeah.
it's very intentional.
Yeah, okay.
There won't be a problem from me. I know the chain of command.
Excellent. Well, then I look forward to working with you. And as
Booker
always,
just
if you
starts
need
walking
anything.
away.
So you walk in and Nomi's talking? Great.
Cold.
All right. Nomi's going to write that down in a little book that has nothing to do with the current situation. So, finally,
Yeah, just flip
Right,
out your
yeah.
datapad. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, all right. So Booker just walks out. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So I feel like if anybody wants to have noticed that, which is to say, like Kieran or the chaplain, if you want to have noticed that moment of tension, you certainly could have. But so chaplain, you're over with Nicola, Lyra Lynn, and she's she tries to get her shit together as you approach. So she kind of like sniffles and like takes a deep breath and just like calm herself down. And as you walk over, she looks up at you and her eyes are all red. And
I'll probably hand her a handkerchief or like, something like that I would probably have. It's a funeral. I probably would come with one of these knowing expectantly. And then just probably sit down next to her and just kind of take a very quiet moment to just kind of look at Nicola a bit. And then just turn around and say, Lady Nicola, it is all right to be upset. You do not need to hide these tears. This is a time to say goodbyes and to let out these emotions. Your tears are prayers to God. They let you know that you care about your cousin and that you are doing a great service to the Empire and all of this. I want you to know that if anything I can do, please come and speak with me.
And she shakes her head and she says, it's not that she's gone that bothers me. It's that I don't know anything about her. Nobody does. There's nothing to celebrate. So it's all just, she gestures around like kind of pointless. And she says, I'm going to go with her home. I mean, find her people. I feel like I have to.
I nod. Well, that would certainly be charitable of you, Nicola. And charity is a virtue, one to be praised, one that serves God and the Empire. But may I offer a small piece of advice from just a simple man? This young woman, this Lilith, she came to this ship without a purpose. She did not know what she wished to accomplish here, and whilst it is tragic what happened to her, you still have a purpose here. Your role here is ordained by the noble houses. If you wish to return with her to home, of course that is your decision. And, like I said, it would be a virtuous one. But do not forget diligence and propriety as well. To do our job and to serve our empire. We do not have a Lyran aboard our ship now, if you leave us. I fear that there may be one time to come, one in the future. But of course, you must do what is best. I, for certainly, like your help in many things. I am new to the ship, and getting to know the crew, well, to have someone of your skills would be very useful.
I like it. Okay, so it sounds to me like you're trying to both convince her to stay, but also to convince her to stay and like see you as a closer person to her than okay. All right.
Somebody to help me out.
Yeah, totally. You're trying to make her your agent. I like it. Okay, let's have you roll.
This is where it's gonna fuck up.
I think she really wants friends. So talk with charisma and take a +1.
Woo!
Take extra +1.
Woo! Bleh.
Okay. So she looks at you and she
trade plus charisma.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did I do trade?
Yeah, you don't trade.
If you want to trade with her, I guess you're like, you should stay. Here's $10.
Oh, it's because for some reason I had that then. Okay, sorry, I'll do that properly now. Thanks, Sam.
Okay.
You're welcome. See, he's nice.
There you go. That's better. Okay. All right. So she rejects your trade and counter offers. Let's just be friends. So she looks
I
at
will give you
the
one
casket.
book.
Yeah, she looks at the casket and she looks at you and she says, "You know, I kept thinking that what happened to her could have happened to me. And I've been here for months. And I just feel like nobody sees me. Nobody understands what I do here. And I just don't want to be like, I don't want to die like that. I don't want to end my life in an empty room full of house crux officers that didn't even bother to learn my name. But if you think that there's a reason for me to be here, if you think it's what God wants."
I put a hand on her shoulder. My dear sweet Nicola, of course it is what God wants, but you must be the one to believe that. I cannot simply tell you it. That is the very beginning of the first virtue of faith. You say that
Yeah.
no one here understands what you do. Do you understand what you must do? What do your house bring to the Empire? What can you do for this crew? They have suffered a battle, they have suffered losses. Perhaps now is the time to focus on morale, ways to bring them together, get them talking, get them communicating. I have often found that helps.
I have noticed that ever since Honglu, things have been kind of tense. And now the Cirrus is back, and that's not going to make things any easier. Maybe I can help.
How so? Why do you feel that the Cirrus will not help things?
You don't know her very well, do you?
I have not had the pleasure of speaking with the Cirrus yet, no.
And you see, you know what? I'm gonna get you to roll. Make a roll here. Okay. Go ahead and and roll. Let's say notice and either wisdom or charisma.
Okay, wisdom.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You can tell me how you pick this up, whether you recognize the look or like the hesitation or what.
Mhm.
But this girl is like both desperately in love with Nomi and terrified of her. And
Okay.
probably Nomi has no idea. There's some unrequited like fear love going on here.
Mhm.
And so when you're like, she says, you don't know her very well. And she's like, she is hard to talk to. I mean, like most serpents, she kind of cold, but I just think that her and some of the other crew members have some history they need to work out. And
I will look at her and kind of cheekily smile and glance over to where Booker had just left Nomi. Lady Nicola, I believe that you might be quite right and quite insightful in these matters, which is why it is even more important to do what we can to bring this crew together for God and for the Emperor. I'll look at her and just say, how about we make a deal? How about we make an agreement? I will do my best to get to know Cirrus Ka a little better, and you will try and do the same.
And she kind of like her eyes go a little wide. She's like, I don't know. I've tried to talk to the Cirrus before, and
once diligence is a virtue, Nicola. We cannot simply try once and then give up. We must continue to try. As
so she's like, if she weren't already so pale, you could like her blushing is just like her turning a slightly warmer shade of like grayish. But yeah, definitely like she's just like looks down and she's like, fine, like okay, I trust you. And she says, yes, of course. I shouldn't give up so easily. And the crew, they need me. I'll reflect on that.
And remember that you can always come to me if there is anything that troubles you, if there is anything that you wish to speak of, anything that you learn of that worries you, please come and speak with me.
And she nods, and you can see you've turned around her feelings, and she says, she stands up and she says, I'll make sure that, she looks at the casket, that she's taken care of, but someone else can handle that responsibility. I have to focus on what's here now.
I think that is very wise. Now, if you'll excuse me, Nicola, there is another member of the crew that I feel that I must go and speak with. And then I will
and she gets a little embarrassed, like, oh, I'm sorry, like I didn't realize I was hogging you. And she's like, no, of course, you must be very busy. I find people get weird when someone dies. And she stands up and she says, yes, and kind of like tries to think of a way to exit the conversation, but then is just like, okay, bye, and like leaves.
I just call out 10 blessings, and then I will pursue Agent Greaves.
Okay, so you're gonna leave too. All right. So since you kind of triggered the end of the funeral, everybody has sort of dispersed and headed out. I'm curious, now that you've been told, Kieran, you've been told that you're going to be working with this group. Like, what are you going to do? Like the social engagement is over, and everybody remembers the nice things that you said, but there is this nagging, like, wait a second, I have a job now. What do you want to do once that's over?
Well, I knew better than to ask Sir Pens any more questions. So I'm probably going to do my own snooping around to figure out what it was exactly that happened to the last squad and what they do. Because my character was incredibly flustered because, number one, had no idea I was getting this assignment. Number two, only saw a bunch of body bags and didn't know what actually happened. So now I'm just like, I'm pleased to serve as your navigator. Like, what exactly?
Yeah, you're like,
what am I doing here? Like, do you need a navigator? Please tell me I get to stay on the ship. Because my character does have piloting as a skill, so I could see Kieran thinking maybe she's gonna be their driver, but the last driver died. So I'm probably going to walk out after them. Stick around to listen or to try to overhear some of the stuff that the chaplain is saying to Nicola, because I'm nosy like that, and then maybe try to go after them or follow them awkwardly to try to pick up or at least ask some information about, mostly to Greaves, because he's the same person that was on both squads.
Oh, so how much like subterfuge is there here? Like, is there a chance you would eavesdrop on whatever conversation the chaplain and Booker have?
I wouldn't make it clear that I was eavesdropping. I'd probably just be kind of following them. And if they turn around and notice me at any point, I definitely wouldn't be skulking. It'd be more like, oh, sorry to interrupt, like that type of thing. Kind of tag along inobtrusively, if that makes sense.
So you want to wait until Booker leaves, and then the chaplain finishes his conversation with Nicola. That's while Nomi and Booker are talking. And the chaplain sees Booker leave, excuses himself, and goes after her. And then you follow the chaplain?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow the chaplain. Yeah. Okay.
Nomi, do you want to follow Kira? We'll just get a whole line going with everybody following everybody. It's a big conga line, post-funeral conga line for everybody. Okay, well let's have Booker and the chaplain. So you're like a little ways behind. You have to like jog a little bit to catch up with them. And Booker, I assume, like where are you headed, Booker? What are you thinking? We start with you, and then the chaplain will catch up.
Booker's probably just heading to like mess hall, like wherever 10 forward is on this. If there's no place for him to be, he just didn't want to be in that room anymore and didn't have any obligation to be. So
yeah, I think the room that you are trying to go to is the room you were just in. I think that the public space, it was being used for that.
Oh, well, in that case, then you just go back to his quarters.
Okay, all right. So you just enter. You get, I guess, you see Chaplain. You see Officer Greaves headed somewhere. And you can interrupt him and call out to him or whatever.
Yeah, I'd probably call out to him and just be like, Officer Graves, a quick moment, a brief momente.
Chaplain?
I'll scoot up to Greaves, but I probably, because what I want to ask him, I want to check that nobody is necessarily around, especially Nomi, who I knew he was talking to. I just kind of want to glance around.
You'll definitely see me then.
So
so
I'll probably notices that and is like, would you like to speak privately, Captain?
I just wish to have a brief moment of your time, if you don't mind. Amira, a pleasure to see you again.
Likewise, pleasure's mine. Yes.
Did you require myself or the agent?
Yes, actually, I did. But it seems like you may be in the middle of something. I could give you a moment, and perhaps we can reconvene later.
That would be most generous of you. Thank you so much, Amira. Your charity is very, very much appreciated. I am, of course, ready to speak with you at any moment. I just need a brief moment of the agent's time, pending to a matter that we previously discussed.
I'll introduce myself a little bit quickly to Booker and just be like, Mr. Greaves, Officer Greaves, my apologies. I'm Amira Kirankor. I was recently made aware that I would be serving alongside you and merely wanted to ask you a few questions about that. I'll just put out my hand to shake his, if he would shake
Nice
it
to
back.
meet you, Kieran. What type of questions? Fire away.
Well, I don't want to interrupt your conversation with the chaplain.
I am very. This is quite fortuitous. I believe that I will be working with you as well, Amira. I will be working with Officer Graves as well. So I'm very. Perhaps I may learn something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I didn't mean to disclude you from the conversation, chaplain.
No, of course. Of course.
Perhaps we can maybe retreat to my quarters and discuss this a little bit privately, if that is amenable to both of you.
Of course. Depending on Agent Graves, of course.
Booker nods, just like, that's fine.
Okay. I'll go ahead and then lead them back to my room.
Yeah, so we just like crossfade to your quarters. Yeah.
Okay. And
do you want to give us a description of it again real quick so everybody can, because I know Anne hasn't heard it.
Yeah, so the Amira's room is what would be construed by Western standards as gaudy. Everything is decked in like primary colors and gold, mostly gold brocade and embroidery. And along the walls, there's 10 traditional paintings of different prophets. And you know, in the corner where she seats everyone, there's a ornate sort of table with a tea set sitting on top. But the tea set is like peculiarly like British style, as opposed to like everything else in the room.
Okay, cool. So this is Booker and the chaplain. This is where you are.
Oh, I cannot trouble you for another cup of the tea that you served last time, Amira. It was quite delicious.
Oh, of course, it would be my pleasure. And I'll
Thank
go
you
ahead
so
and
much.
fix another pot of mint tea and pour him and Booker each a glass. Thank you so much for humoring me and granting me some of your time. I know you're both very, very busy gentlemen. Allow me to be blunt. I mostly wanted to speak with you, Officer Greaves. I just was made aware of my assignment to your squad. And to put it lightly, I was a bit taken aback. I guess I just had some questions given what transpired with your last team in terms of what is it that you do? I wasn't made aware of exactly what kind of activities we would be taking on. And I was also curious as to how dangerous said activities may or may not be, as well as what my role would be in said activities.
Unless you have the proper authorization about the previous mission, I'm not at liberty to discuss that with you. If there are public records that you have access to, you can review those for your own information. But outside of that, without getting permission to reveal the details of a previous assignment, I'm afraid I can't help you there. Unless, of course, it becomes relevant to our current assignment, which I don't believe we have for the entire group of us that are going to be working together. So that's kind of where I stand. No disrespect. If
oh, none taken, sir.
if you are authorized for that, and that becomes something, then if we deem it necessary and prudent, I'll be happy to share.
I definitely did not want to have you breach any sort of security or intelligence protocols. I was more trying to get a general idea of what I could expect.
Well, as far as I know, we don't have current assignment. Myself and the chaplain are working on a mission right now. He's been assisting me. Whether or not that is the assignment that we are to have as a group, I have not been made aware of that. If that is the case, then I'll be happy to bring you in on a current objective. But right now, myself and the chaplain are working on something developing on the ship here. Could there be danger in our next assignment? Of course. It's part of being part of service. They don't, I'm sure you know they don't call me in when they need someone to make friends and cuddle, as it were. So,
Agent Greaves has quite the career, Amira. He is somewhat of a, well, in some circles, perhaps they would call him a hero.
Booker like scoffs at the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And in others, they would not.
Well, they always do say that history is told by the victors.
Was there anything further?
And I believe that was it. Have to, excuse my curiosity. It just...
Oh, not at all. It's only natural and it makes sense for you to try to get as much information as possible with the people that you're going to be working with.
It's very wise of you, Amira.
If you need anything from me, I'd be more than happy to help. I've heard that you are both investigating what happened aboard my last ship, and I'm very grateful to you both for looking into this.
I'm merely assisting Amira as something of more of a hobby, I guess. I have some skills in investigation, but I just merely offered my assistance to Agent Greaves. I'm quite curious as to what are your skills, Amira? Obviously, diplomatic corps, or have you been trained in other fields? I'm quite curious as to what you can bring to the team.
What is it exactly that you say you do here?
This is the two Bobs right here. My interview with the Bobs. I'm a people person. I'm good with people. That's going to be my response.
Yeah. We're going to need you to go ahead and...
Yeah, you got to come in on the weekend and file these navigation
so
reports.
that the serpents doesn't have to.
Wow.
So what do you tell the chaplain when he asks you, like, yeah, what's your deal? Because I know that's a point of contention for you, where you're trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Well, I would assume that I've been brought onto your team for my navigation skills, chaplain.
Oh.
I have some experience with piloting as well. That would be my assumption. Am I correct in the information I heard that your pilot expired?
I look at Booker Greaves.
Yeah, he just went bad. He just ran his best by date was over.
That is correct. The last pilot that was assigned to my group did unfortunately pass away in the line of duty.
And blessings to him.
He was a good man.
I can only do my best to fill his shoes. I did hear a bit about Jason Argus, and I won't claim to have his prowess behind the wheel, but I will do my very best to serve you both well.
That is all that is ever expected of any of us, Amira. But it is very much appreciated, and I'm sure you will do a fantastic job, and I look forward to working with you.
Likewise. Thank you so much for joining me today. Go ahead and guys.
If you do have any concerns, Amira, if there are any fears, you are welcome to come and speak with me or the other chaplain if you feel more comfortable. You are more than welcome in the chapel at any time.
Thank you so very much.
Once we clean the blood off the floor.
I'm assuming in a few days that's been done, Adam.
Yes. Someone had to wipe all the blood up off the floor. Yeah. Don't worry. Somebody took care of that.
And Booker gets up and's like,
Okay.
thanks for the tea. Actually quite good.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Amira. 10 blessings.
And Booker gets
So,
up.
Kieran, do you stay in your room and Booker and I guess I'm curious, Booker and the chaplain, do you have a conversation outside or do you both go your own ways?
I think, like, to save Booker some time, I would potentially try and talk to him on the way, just kind of maybe in hushed tones.
Yeah.
Sure.
If he's okay with that. If
Yeah,
I get the sense that,
As we're walking, Booker probably like, he's like, I believe you had something you wanted to discuss.
Yes, Agent Graves, and by all means, please, if you do not wish to discuss it, that is absolutely fine. Unlike the Amira, I was given some access to the mission reports of your previous mission, and having seen the response to Ceres Ka, I am just concerned that I am worried about you, and I want you to know that you are more than welcome to come and speak with me in confidence. If you have frustrations, if you have fears, these are all very normal and to be expected, and they would go no further than myself and you. I just want you to be aware that that is what I am here for. I'm here to help you, and I could understand your positions if you were to have such feelings. If you don't, that is very good. And by all means, as I said, you are welcome to simply tell me that it is none of my business. I just want you to be aware that I'm here.
When he says that it's only, only between, of course, it'll only be between the two of us, Booker's eyes like narrow slightly. Like, he either notices or he doesn't. But after you're done speaking, he's like, whatever personal issues I may have with Cirrus Nomika will not affect my duty. As you mentioned before, I have a long service record and history. So I've served with people that I don't necessarily like or get along with necessarily in a personal capacity. However, it will not affect my duty and my work.
Agent Greaves.
Perhaps if it becomes prudent, maybe I'll share more with you. But for right now, and forgive me for being frank, Chaplain, I just don't know you that well.
Of course. That is absolutely fine. As I said, I do understand. I am new here. I wish to make the offer there. And please understand, Agent Graves, I am not talking about your efficiency or your capacity to do your job. I know that you are a good soldier, a good man, a good member of this crew. This is more of a personal offer of support. This is more for you as a person, not as a soldier, to help you if there are any concerns, if you have any doubts in your faith. That is what I mean. But like you said, you do not know me that well. I hope that we can get to know each other a little better. Take care. 10 blessings with you. And then I'll head my way off.
Okay.
Yeah, but gives you a little nod and keeps going.
So while all that's going on, Nomi, this funeral situation has cleared out. Do you have anywhere that you want to be? Anybody you want to talk to? Because I know somebody who wants to talk to you, but if you have something you want to do, I'll let you do that first.
No, nothing specific.
Okay. All right. So while everybody is sort of filing out, then I think you see walking over to you in his shiny new uniform. You see Yancey, and unlike everyone else in the room, who at best has like a confused look, there's a lot of general funereal sadness. Yancey is smiling, and not like a wide, like excited seeing your friend at the airport for the first time in a long time smile, but just like a hey, I've got something interesting to say to you kind of smile. And so he's walking over to you, and you can see he's got his updated like sigil, and he's wearing a different uniform, and he walks over. Do you say anything, or do you let him start the conversation?
Yeah, I'll just let him like walk up to me.
Okay. All right. So he walks up, and he gives you a bow, and he says, Welcome back, Cirrus.
He's a lieutenant now, right?
Yeah, he's a Kriegsherr, which I think in like regular speak is like a lieutenant. Yeah. In
Okay,
non-crux language.
So I could call him lieutenant.
Yeah,
And that
let's
would be
go
fine.
with that for now. If it's something different, I'll let you know. But for this scene, we'll just stick with that.
So I kind of give him a little nod and I say, Lieutenant Yancey, it's good to see you again.
He nods. He says, "I'm glad they brought you back to the Prudence. Things just haven't been the same around here without you."
Yes, I was on Heroa for some time, but it is good to be back, and I'm ready to get back into the action, so to speak.
And the two of you are in view of a viewport, and you can see Hyra down below, which is his home planet. And he says, "It's always nice to be able to come home, especially after everything that happened on Honglu. We had funerals for them. Holtzman, Ramirez. And he just kind of like looks out the window quietly.
Yeah, I don't really say anything. I just kind of let him talk.
Yeah, let him kind of feel out that silence.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he says, "We picked up some strays. It was an accident." And he looks around, and the room is pretty much empty now. It's just like the two of you and the casket, and maybe a couple of like lesser sort of functionaries who are going to handle the body and like take it out for cargo. And he says, "Yeah, we picked up some strays. It was a ship, some Valen cruiser. Looks like a synth sabotage job. We got the slippery little fucker in the brig. I think Greaves went and talked to him, but well, now that you're here, maybe we can get some results." It's a pretty typical skin job. Thing still thinks it's human. Maybe you can have a word with it for me?
Excellent. That does sound like a good idea.
So, I saw the files. They've got you keeping an eye on Greaves.
Yes, it does appear that he will still be a part of our squad. Although the leadership structure has altered a bit.
For the better, I think. Greaves is a man who's known for getting things done. But a dog without a leash, it's dangerous.
So like that whole when he was talking, I was looking at him and I look out the window now, and down at the planet, and I say, "So can I count on you, Yancey?"
Count on me for what, Cirrus?
And I smile and I say, "To keep the dog on the leash."
Well, I'm not going to be the one on the ground holding it, but from up here on the Prudence, I'll do everything I can to make sure that your mission is successful. We have to be vigilant. There are elements in the Empire, subtle poisons. Hard to know who to trust these days. But I think you've proven yourself someone to rely on. I hope I've done the same.
And then I look back at him and I say, "Excellent. I look forward to working with you, Lieutenant."
Have a conversation with our guest in the brig. Let me know what you can get out of him. Take Greaves if you like. It's your unit now.
Cool. And nod and leave.
Yeah. So he gives you a bow and you head out. Okay, cool. All right. So I think probably like some amount of time passes. And Kieran, you are. I don't think your auntie doesn't summon you, right? This isn't like, hey, you have to come be here now. It's more like, hey, have you had dinner? We should eat together. But really, it's like, get off your ass and come down here, and we're eating together.
Oh yeah.
So you've gotten that call to go and see
Mhm.
your auntie Sujin.
Okay. I like her, so I'll say yes.
Okay, sure. So maybe we have a scene in her quarters, which are like similar to yours, but I think more like she's obviously been more influenced by the crux that she's around. So it's a little more Spartan, a little less like fancy, but still there's a sense that the two of you are peas in the same pod. And she's got dinner prepared for you when you arrive. She has a servant that's making food. She's a big
Okay.
deal. So she has her own servant. And yeah, so you come in, and she I think she just like offers you. There's like some small talk, and she like offers you a drink while you're waiting for the servant to finish making your dinner. You notice, and you notice this because her room is usually her quarters are usually so like Spartan and like handled. It's out of place. There's a data pad, like a secure comms data pad, like the kind of thing you'd hand deliver to someone rather than letting a bunch of ships pass it around. It's a brushed metal, like maybe like 10 inches across, screen down on the table. But on the back, there's an etched sigil of 3 interconnected hexagons. You see them etched on the back of this pad, and yeah, you notice it. And I don't know, would you like let her notice you noticing it, or do you look away, or?
I'd probably look away.
Okay. All right. So you get into the meal. You like have you start eating, and she says, "So, I think your arranged marriage is going to be delayed a little longer. You were looking for something to do on the ship."
Yes, I think you're right.
It sounds like High Command has something for you. You're going to be sent to Berkman. It's a backwater, but the church has some vested interest there, and we have this chaplain on board now. You're going to be given a mission, objectives, all of that. The Crux are going to be very big on giving you orders, telling you very specifically what is to be done. It's my understanding that your job will be diplomacy, and I know you would rather fly the ship, but the house, and she glances at the data pad. The house needs you there for another purpose. I don't mean not to do your job. We want to make a good impression on the people we're staying with. We all serve the Empire in our own way, but there's a corporate asset on Berkman. Trillion Ring? And like you've heard of them. Everybody has. They make really fancy, expensive stuff. They have business dealings with the church there. I've had a request come down from relatives at home. We need you to do a little bit of digging. Nothing too serious. Nothing illegal. Just keep an eye out. Let us know what's going on Berkman 3. She kind of like leaves a space for you to respond.
Is there any chance that... Do you get the impression, Auntie, that the chaplain may be opposed to my looking around at all?
I don't know the man that well. I You don't know this about me. I have a complicated relationship with priests of all sorts. But it might be best for now to keep this just between you and I.
Good to know.
And
Is this
if you
your
let
doing,
it,
by the way?
I was gonna say, yeah, if you let it, then the conversation immediately just drops back to that comfortable, like, so I heard from your mom, like, I have some information from home, but if you keep pushing,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're welcome to.
Yeah.
So you say, is this your doing?
Yeah.
She kind of like she smiles at you in a kind of uncomfortable way, and she says, no, I'm afraid not. I'm only the messenger. This comes from above both of us. And she kind of looks helplessly at you, like, I know, I wish that I could, like, but now also, but like, I've passed on the message, and so this isn't my problem anymore. I'm glad that they're not making me do anything I feel weird about.
Yeah. It feels a bit strange that you knew of what High Command required of me before I did.
It's these crooks. They have complicated ways of moving information around. Security is very important to them.
Understandably so.
You're likely going to hear the same orders from 4 or 5 different people before the day is done. And you might get a change to your mission partway through. Flexibility is required in the face of such bureaucracy, I find. You'll get used to it.
Don't you find it a bit strange?
Find what strange?
Why would you need a Valen diplomat when you have a perfectly competent Cirrus who could serve in the same capacity?
I think you and I both know that Serpent's diplomacy and Valen diplomacy are 2 very different implements.
Right. I understand. It just seems that usually the crux prefer one over the other.
Maybe they just want someone a little bit more on their level. We can't always be making the minor houses do our work for us. Why do you think a Pixis doesn't run this ship? We all have our jobs to do. And I know that you're not sure that this is yours, but
I'll do my best.
I trust that you will.
So, what have you heard from Mother lately?
Yeah, and so just the rest of the conversation is like family gossip. Like, she's obviously gotten a big communication from home, from Hakani, and she just lets you know all of the little family gossip details. And so you spend basically the rest of the evening having dinner and then dessert and then drinks, like with your auntie, and like gossiping about family. Cool. All right, and so we fade out on that scene, and I guess it's time for a break. So let's take one here, and when we get back, I don't know, maybe this Cirrus will go and have a conversation with a robot man. We'll see. We got a dangerous synth on board. So stick around, see how that goes, and we'll be right back.